Today I'm behind the wheel of a brand new 2021 Ford F-150, and this is the XLT trim, a mid-level trim that is very popular because it starts with a low base price and is very customizable with all the latest features and optional things that you would want within an F-150. And one of the things you can opt for is the brand new Powerboost engine. The Powerboost engine produces 430 horsepower and makes this F-150 achieve 24 miles per gallon combined, and that's with four-wheel drive. That's phenomenal for a full-size truck. Also, you get Pro Power in the rear, which means that you can plug in whatever power tool you have at the work site, which is really convenient. So just how good is this brand new F-150? Let's find out. Now, before I go for a drive, let me first tell you about the changes on the outside and show you all the features and amenities that you'll find on the inside. Starting with the outside, this F-150 looks very similar to the last generation. The profile, the shape looks almost identical, but almost every piece of sheet metal is brand new for this generation. Now, starting with the front end, look at that massive grille. The grille design has changed, and depending on what trim level you select, you get a different looking grille. This one happens to be completely covered in matte black, but look at those brand new headlights. They are massive. They're huge. This one is full LED, and what's really unique is the C-shaped daytime running lights that's on the outside and goes all the way to the bottom to where the fog lights is and completes a big C shape. Very unique. And also look at the hood on top. Very sculpted, very high. The front end of this brand new F-150 is definitely recognizable, yet it's still new, it's fresh, and of course, you can't mistake it with any other brand out there. This is definitely a F-150. Now, moving to the side, this F-150 looks just like a full-size truck, just like the previous F-150. Now, this is the Super Crew, which means there's a lot more room for the second row passengers, and this one is configured with a 5.5-foot bed. Now, the F-150 is still really high off the ground, and this one is configured with 20-inch dark smoked wheels. Look at these massive mirrors, and underneath you'll see cameras, and that's part of the 360 view system that I'll show you in a little bit. Now, on the tailgate, this one is configured with the workbench, which gives you some grooves and some measurements. So in case you wanted to measure or cut on the tailgate of your F-150, you can do so. This one is also configured with a tailgate step, which makes it very easy to get inside the bed and get off the bed. And this is very convenient, especially if you have something inside the bed you need to grab, tools or 2x4s or cement or mulch, whatever. It makes it super convenient to get in and out of the bed. This one also has a spray-in liner, so you don't have to worry about rust or dents or holes. There's some tie downs on either side. Now, because this F-150 does come with the hybrid Powerboost engine, in the back you get the Pro Power plugs, and this one is the heavy duty one. It can handle tools up to 7.2 kilowatts. So that's a lot. So you could plug in anything you want pretty much at the work site, and you could just make this F-150 one gigantic generator. Really cool. Moving to second row, what can I say? There's so much room. There's ample room. I have at least 12 inches of leg room behind my driving position, and I'm 5'10", and about 3 to 4 inches of headroom. Now, rear passengers gets vents, cup holders, plenty of ports, and also you can fold up the rear seats to generate more cargo room. This one is configured with a lockable hidden storage underneath the rear seats. Take a look. You can simply unlock it, fold it up, and you have a lot more storage underneath the seats. Very cool. Now, inside the front cabin, the steering wheel is what you would expect inside a full-size truck. It's big, it feels good, no complaints. Now, looking at the gauge cluster, you have a large digital screen inside the middle. You have 2 analog gauges. They look kind of plain, but that screen is very nice. You have more gauges, that's all digital, and you can scroll through the menu and see a variety of things. Your trip computer, things about your truck, your towing, your navigation, phone, audio, settings. You could see pretty much whatever you want inside that screen. Now, this one is also configured with the Pro trailer system, which makes it really easy to back up if you do have a trailer. Unfortunately, I don't have a trailer, I can't show you. Now, this one is also configured with the optional Sync 4 12-inch screen. Now, me personally, I like the horizontal setup of the screen better than the vertical one inside a Ram. I think it just makes a whole lot more sense. Now, as for the interface for Sync 4, it's okay. It's bright, it's easy to figure out, but it's not the most responsive system. There is still some lag when you're going in between the different menus and settings. Yeah, so there is some slight lag, and overall, the graphical interface isn't the most pleasant, but it is a big upgrade versus the previous Sync 3 system that you found on the last generation of F-150. Now, on top, there are some dedicated buttons. There's one to just turn on generator mode. Also, the camera system. Now, I showed you the cameras outside underneath the mirrors, but there's also a lot more around the F-150, and you could choose. You could choose to see ahead of you. You could have a 180 view. You can see what's behind you. And of course, you do have a 360 view camera system. So it shows you a 360 view, a bird's eye view, which is really nice, especially if you're parking or if you're towing or you're in a small spot. Really convenient. This one is also configured with 4-wheel drive, so you have 2 high, 4 low, and you have a lockable differential in the rear that you could turn on. Now you have a whole bunch of knobs underneath for volume, tuning, and also climate control, dual zone climate control. Those are pretty standard, but you do get another household plug inside here right up front. Underneath, you have 2 USB ports and a whole bunch of space. And look at this stowable shifter. This is the first in the industry. First time I've tested this out. Very, very cool. You can stow away your shifter so that you could open up the internal work surface. Yeah, that's right. You have like a work surface, a big table. So if you had a laptop or lunch, whatever you wanted to put there, you can. That's like such a small thing, yet it makes a big impact on people that actually work inside their F-150. And on top, this one comes with a twin panel panoramic moonroof. Very nice. It goes all the way to the rear. All right, I'm off. Let's see how good this brand new F-150 is and see how it drives. First thing I want to talk about is I did review a 2021 F-150 before. It was the base XL with almost no option. This one is the XLT, obviously a higher trim level, but this one's configured with almost every single option, and there's a big difference in terms of the niceties and features that you would want inside a truck. So this one definitely making a good impression right off the bat. Now, just like all full-size trucks, this is huge. It's a very, very, very big truck, so you have to get used to it. But once you do, you definitely feel like a king on the road, like you could just pretty much run people over. Now, if you're on the shorter side, you're under 6 feet tall, you probably want to opt for the side steps that make a big difference. It helps you get in and out. And once you sit inside, man, you get very, very good view, a commanding view of the road, and you definitely feel the width of this F-150. It is very wide. I have to pay attention that I'm in between the lanes, and I have not tried to park this beast yet. I'm assuming parallel parking is infinitely more difficult with a full-size truck, and same thing getting in and out of tight spaces at shopping malls or grocery stores. That's why the 360 view system that this one has is really, really necessary in my opinion. Now, I want to talk about these seats because they're really, really good, really comfortable, and not just up front, but also in the rear. They're not leather seats, they're cloth seats, but a very nice soft material, and the bottom cushion is super comfortable. I feel like I could sit here and drive here all day long, and it's really nice because I can configure it however I want, and it's one of those seats where you can configure really quickly and find that sweet spot. There's a lot of cars I drive, just doesn't matter how much I tweak it, I can't find a sweet spot. This one found it right away. And same do with the rear too. The rear seats, very, very comfortable. So Ford did an amazing job on the seats, really nice. Now, as for the suspension on this F-150, also very nice. Of course, they're redesigned, retuned for this brand new truck, but you know, around town right now, very nice, very soft, comfortable. Over big bumps, yes, I do feel bed rattle. I do feel the bed in the back, but you know, when it's smooth surfaces or light imperfections, this F-150 is very, very comfortable, especially paired with these very comfortable seats. It's a nice drive. Now, is it as comfortable as, say, a brand new Ram with the air suspension? No, unfortunately. The Ram with the air suspension still does feel better than the suspension inside this F-150. Now, as for the steering, I think the steering could be better. The steering wheel itself is nice. This leather, this cushion, it feels good. But there is a whole lot of play in the steering wheel, and plus, there's just like rubbery feeling. Whenever you're making a turn or it's coming back to center, it does feel rubberish. It's hard to explain. It's something that you just have to feel for yourself. I don't think it's too bad. I think most people will just live with it, no complaints, but compared to some of the other cars I've driven, yeah, it does feel a little rubberish. Okay, as I'm coming to a stop, the brakes are okay. The pedal feels a little bit mushy, so it does take a little bit more effort, especially towards the end, to fully stop this F-150. And when you come to a stop, there's a little bit of a nosedive because of the soft suspension. It's about right for a big, big full-size truck. That's about right, but not the best brake feel. Now, driving around the neighborhood at low speeds, I feel like the transmission sometimes misses a beat. Like sometimes it's caught in the wrong gear, or it's trying to shift and it just bogs down a little bit. So this 10-speed sometimes gets a little confused at low speeds. Now, I haven't done full acceleration yet, full throttle yet. I want to see how it is. But right now, I'm noticing some of those hiccups. All right, let's test out acceleration. I'm in a dead stop right now. Ooh, whoa. It just chirped the tires in second gear. Okay. That was pretty quick. This is a pretty good engine. In terms of power output, 430 horsepower, which is the most on the F-150 until the Raptor comes out. And also you're getting like 570 pound-feet of torque. And what's amazing about this is, with this monstrous output, you're still achieving 24 miles per gallon in the city, on the highway, overall combined. 24 for a full-size truck. That's really, really amazing. So that's one of the biggest advantages of selecting this brand new hybrid Powerboost engine, because you're getting a whole lot of power, you're getting great fuel economy, and I showed you about the Pro Power plugs in the bed, and you pretty much can plug whatever you want back there. It makes this F-150 turn into one gigantic generator, which is really cool. Now, are there any flaws with this engine? Yes, unfortunately. I find that this engine always turns on and off because it tries to save gas. It basically turns itself off, so you could pretty much just run in hybrid mode only or electric mode only, and then when it runs out of charge, it turns it back on. But that process is very quick all the time. So I'm always finding that I'm hearing the engine turn off, then on, then off, and on, and whenever it does that, it's not seamless. There's like a vibration. You could hear it and you could feel it. So unfortunately, I'm getting that experience, a lot wherever I am. So it's not flawless. So I think that's the trade-off. If I could turn that feature off, usually there's an engine auto start stop button that you can press to turn off. Unfortunately, with this hybrid, you can't. It just does it all the time. So that's the one trade-off. Visibility inside this F-150 is fantastic. I can see well past the hood. I'm sitting high up, windshield's big, rear windows are good, side windows is phenomenal, and because of the design where the window, like droops down, slopes down at F-150, makes it very nice to see out the sides, both sides, and blind spot is too. So yeah, visibility is fantastic. And same thing with safety system. This F-150 pretty much gets every single safety system there is. So adaptive cruise control, front collision mitigation, warning, lane assist, rear braking, blind spot monitoring. I mean, every single safety system you could think of, this one includes. Now, just reflecting upon this cabin, I think this is a big improvement. It's still big and brash, big knobs, big screens everywhere, right? But that's what you want inside a F-150 in a full-size truck. I do think this big 12-inch screen, which is optional, is fantastic. Very bright, very clear. Sync 4 works better than Sync 3. but it's still not as fancy or as responsive as some of the other modern infotainment systems. Also, the gauge cluster with this large screen, it's like a 7 or 8 inch screen, also is very nice. So the technology, the cabin, right, definitely has improved over the last generation. However, if you compare this to, say, a Ram's interior, I don't know if this is better. Now, this is not the top limited trim, which is filled with leather and soft surfaces everywhere, but still, comparing the design, the overall flow, fit and finish, I don't know. The Ram's interior is just really, really nice. Really good, well-designed, really nice, functional. I would say this is about equal. What's also good about this F-150 is how quiet it is inside here. This cabin is really well insulated. I could tell because when I close the door, there's that nice thunk, and you could tell there's a lot of insulation. So yeah, inside right now, and I'm going about 45, 50 miles per hour, no wind noise at all. Nothing from the road. The tires really, really quiet. Same thing, cars passing by, very muted. I mean, it's just a really nice drive right now. It's very muted, very quiet, and I have the radio off. So yeah, Ford spent a good amount of time insulating this F-150. Now, there's one big nitpick about the previous generation F-150 that still exists on this 2021 model, and that is that big, ridiculous, flimsy antenna that is out front. I don't know why on a $50, $60, $70, $80,000 truck that is not replaced. It just doesn't make any sense. Now, Ram fixed that. Ram has a nice shark fin antenna on top, but somehow on the F-150 that still exists. Come on, Ford, remove that already. That makes no sense, especially on a high-end truck. Overall, I'm a big fan of this brand new F-150. I think Ford did a really good job redesigning the outside, and same thing, redesign the inside. It's been modernized. There's a lot more features. There's a lot of cool, nifty things that others don't offer, such as a stowaway shifter, this internal work table, right? There's little things like that that Ford added. Let's not forget that Pro Power in the back for your tools, and this brand new hybrid engine that is amazing with power and fuel economy, right? So I think Ford did a really good job updating this brand new F-150. So next up, let's talk about pricing. So this 2021 Ford F-150 with the Super Crew cab configuration, which means you get a whole lot of space in the rear, with a normal bed, 5.5 foot length bed, and 4-wheel drive, the starting price is around $43,805, and that's with this beautiful blue. It's called Velocity Blue. Now, depending on what you want, the price goes up significantly. So this one I'm driving, of course, comes with a hybrid Powerboost engine. That is a $4,500 option. This one also comes with the Equipment Group 302A, which adds on a lot of convenience, niceties inside this F-150. That comes in at $5,730. Also, if you're on the shorter side, you want running boards, it's additional $225. If you want this nice, beautiful twin panel panoramic sunroof, $1,500. Power sliding rear window, about $350. Also, that work surface I showed you over here, that's additional $165. The trailer tow package, so if you wanted to tow 12,700 pounds, you need to have that package. That's over $1,000. Also, the sound system in here, the lockable storage, the tailgate step, and also the 360 camera view, the sport appearance package, wheel well liner, bed spray liner. Yeah, that's all optional. So the good and bad about the XLT is you can configure whatever you want, but you have to pay for it. So grand total comes out to be about $65,256, and that's after destination delivery fee. So base price, $43,800, and pretty much fully configured, like this tester, comes out over $65,256. So with that said, you have to decide which features you want and which ones you could live without. Overall, I'm giving this brand new 2021 Ford F-150 XLT a score of 122. To see where it ranks among its peers, check out driversonlyrankings.com. Thanks for watching, hit the like and subscribe to the channel. Also, check out these 2 other videos.